Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. What we're looking at right now is the Google Doodle tribute to Sally Ride, the first woman to travel in space as an astronaut. At least so the story goes. However, if you've seen my videos before, I've been showing how the astronauts are ran by the Freemasons, admittedly, and everything they do is essentially a hoax and synced up with numerology. And Google Doodle, whenever they do a tribute to someone, you can almost be assured that that person is a complete fraud, which is something else I've been documenting with these video posts. All the people they give tributes to are very much connected in some way to this numerology hoax that I've been exposing so well. For example, we're getting the Sally Ride tribute this year, the year she would have turned 64 years old. Why didn't we get one last year at 63 or the year before at 62 or even, the year of her death? The reason we're getting it at 64 has everything to do with her own personal numerology. The number 64 is connected to Thelema, the occult religion about do what thou wilt. Let's just look at it real quick, Truth Seeker. So Thelema is this occult religion. Thelema in simple English gematria sums to 64. Do what thou wilt sums to 64 with Pythagorean gematria. Think about the Beatles song. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Beatles equals 64. And the Beatles are so full of numerology tributes, it's just sickening. They released their first album on March 22nd, 322. What do we know about that number? Israel also equals 64, Zion, even the word true. Thelema, though, they don't worship the number 64, even though they have so much of it coded into it. They worship the number 93. And the name Sally Kristen Ride has a gematria of 93. This number coded into so many famous people's full names. 93. Sally Kristen Ride. She went by the name Sally Ride, which has a gematria of 42, just like the word female, just like the word bitch, just like the numerology of the date she supposedly died on from cancer. 7 plus 23 is 30, plus 12 is 42. She died July 23rd, 2012, a date with a numerology of 42. She died at the age of 61, which connects to Google. Google, in simple English gematria, sums to 61. Remember, 61 is this important number as well. In the King James Version of the Bible, the 61st book is of 61 verses. The only book with symmetry like that. The word church equals 61. Sally Ride became the first woman to enter space in the year 83 on June 18th. What made me smile, Truth Seeker, is this is exactly 33 days before my birthday. I was born 33 days later. I wasn't even alive when old Sally Ride went into space. But with regards to this final 42 tribute to her, at the beginning of this year, Truth Seeker, the space program put out a 42 tribute, and they did it on the date January 12th, which is also interesting. This guy right here, who's been shown in many NASA videos doing all sorts of Masonic hand poses in the imagery, completely undeniable for anyone who knows what they're looking at. He's got this number 42 on his t-shirt, and the female next to him is wearing a shirt that says, "Don't panic." The phrase "don't panic" sums to 42, Truth Seeker. Just like the number on this guy's shirt, just like the numerology of the date Sally Ride supposedly died. With regards to that date, January 12th, the word mathematics equals 112, simple English gematria. Notice that 1 plus 1 equals 2. This picture was from January 12th. The word math, the shortened version of the word, has a gematria of 42. And, most things in this world, Truth Seeker, are numbers. And 42 is said to be the meaning of life number. It might be because all things in life come back to numbers. Recently, Google Doodle had a tribute to Inge Lehman, the master of the dark arts, as she was coined, who, using this mastery of the dark arts, discovered the Earth's core. I mean, doesn't that just sound ridiculous? It sounds ridiculous because it is. And today in school, children learn about the Earth's core and are taught to study all the definitions and important vocabulary. Stuff that has no relevance to their life and is likely all just bullshit and lies. She died in 93. She just had her Google tribute. Anyway, let's go back in time, 1983. Let's watch the news from that day. Here's Britt Hume, who's now parked on Fox News. Here we go.
The Space Shuttle Challenger's 5 astronauts are sleeping now after a virtually flawless launch and first day. This is the 7th shuttle mission, and with no hitches, it might have been considered routine. But as the Challenger climbed today, it carried an American woman astronaut, Sally Ride, into space and into history. Lynn Scher has the story.
She was grinning with excitement even before she left the Earth. Even before the crowds here chanted, "Ride, Sally, ride," as Challenger took its supercharged journey into space.
And liftoff.
We're just such a dumb nation, a nation of catchphrases, easy slogans. Ride, Sally, ride. I mean, that's the song name. It's just so easy to see through all this stuff. Sally Ride, what a ridiculous name. Sally Ride probably really didn't die at the age of 61. Her false identity probably died, and she's able to return to her normal self for the rest of her life. Here we go.
STS-7 and America's first woman astronaut, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
It was a perfect launch into the history books, as Challenger once again charged into the sky and gently rolled over, carrying not only Sally Ride, but 4 other male astronauts towards orbit. The trip to space was so exhilarating, Dr. Ride offered this comparison in her first words from Challenger.
Did Disneyland? Affirmative. That was definitely an e-ticket.
In other
And I mean, just what a joke, Truth Seeker. That's what she has to tell us. It's like Disneyland. Let me remind you about Disneyland on the 33rd parallel north, in Anaheim, which has a gematria of 33. In Orange County, Orange has a gematria of 33. Everything about Disneyland is Masonic. That's why all these 33 tributes, just like NASA. It's just a joke, Truth Seeker. And right here, they're launching from Cape Canaveral, CC. C's the third letter. Kennedy Space Center's right there. Kennedy's a 33 word. At Cape Canaveral, there's runway 33 that has the 33rd degree angle measurement. It's just non-stop numerology tributes and hoaxes by the numbers, Truth Seeker. And also treating us like we are fucking morons. And so many people fall for it.
words, the best of all possible rides. Over at the VIP site, her family dealt with the sort of attention Dr. Ride had left behind. And after watching her daughter light off atop 2 rockets, Joyce Ride had this word of advice for would-be space travelers. Think about your mother. Later, the astronauts beamed down their first TV pictures of the payload bay and pointed out the cloud cover over Florida. Then this afternoon, with John Fabian at the controls and Sally Ride still grinning as she worked and played with the camera, they completed their first task, deployment of the Canadian communication satellite. Challenger's next goal will be to launch the Indonesian communication satellite tomorrow morning. Then on Wednesday, another satellite. But for many, by taking Sally Ride into space, the shuttle completed its most impressive mission when it left the pad this morning. Lynn Scher, ABC News at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
There it is, Truth Seeker, the big joke. One last point. Sally Ride is an astronaut. Astronaut, the word, has a Pythagorean gematria of 30, and with the S exception, 39. 39 is the flip of 93, like the name Sally Kristen Ride, which has so much to do with Thelema. And for a little more practice, Google, again, she died at the age of 61. Google in simple English gematria is just like this, Truth Seeker. Google 61. Important prime number. All right. Until next time.